feel this year's going to be very, very exciting. I've actually sprayed in all the corners of the framing on the cabin roof and the hull frames. Yeah, so I thought I'd better explain also why the engine's suspended up in the air. As I said, I'm feeling really excited about this new year. It's January 2018 after all. Okay, time for a bit of an update. So we've now just entered the new year, 2018. Yay! We've flipped into the new year and the good boatwork continues to materialise before my eyes, and I'm really hoping that it continues to materialise before your eyes too. I feel this year's going to be very, very exciting. A lot's been happening. Been doing a lot of work as well away, so of course that means not home doing boat work, which is fine, but in turn putting money away, and I've been working hard on that. So the boat's going well. I'm very happy. As you can see, the insulation's starting to be sprayed on. So good start so far, and yeah, I have what I need. No excuses. So hopefully it's progress ahead. Just in brief, I will mention that so the plans are that finish the insulation, finish spraying that on. The next thing will be kind of in tandem. I'm doing the electrical wiring, so I've already started drilling through the frames where the flexi tube's going to go to house the wiring. So that, in conjunction with, I've actually got to I'm going to lift the engine and just give another clean and spray, another coat of PU white on the bottom there, just because over all this time it's just got dirty and little bits of mild steel residue, rusted, just, you know, like little pieces, cause sort of brown spots around the spot. It hasn't penetrated the paint, and that's good, but basically I just want to get it all clean and, you know, really mirror smooth, so that looking ahead I won't have any problems with that needing work ahead. Now it's easy. So yeah, basically insulation, wiring, lift the engine, get the engine bay sprayed, and then coving where the insulation ends. I'll be putting just some epoxy coving, fillet basically, coving in all of these hull floors and the ends of the frames, so that they're completely protected in terms of moisture. And once I've done that, then I'll just be blowing on 2 coats of the white PU, basically from here down across the floors. So that's really my main focus. Did I mention running the engine? Because I'm not sure if I did. Anyhow, that's definitely on the agenda, is that once I've sprayed under there and got all that cleaned up, etc., then I'll be connecting all the engine, everything, and actually running the engine, and that is something I'm really excited about doing. So can't wait for that, basically, and clearly I'll get that on film because that'll be fairly monumental. The floor section is done. I've actually sprayed in all the corners of the framing on the cabin roof and the hull frames. So that's all done. So basically the next stage is to just blow in between all the framing, and that's comparatively easier than what I've done just there. Also done the under the cockpit, so that's all done because I want to get that engine sorted out as I was explaining, so that'll be happening as well. And I'll leave the aft section till I've done all this other stuff. I have some things to say about my reasons for choosing spray-on insulation, and I have quite a lot to say about my experiences with using and applying it. The product that I used is manufactured in the United States. As far as I could tell, it's not manufactured in Australia, and actually I couldn't find the kits that I was actually after that would suit me being manufactured in any other place. For me, there are two main reasons why I chose and why I wanted spray-on insulation. Being a steel boat, one thing that's really crucial to understand is condensation within a steel boat. Obviously, if the temperature of the boat on the inside compared to the outside differs quite a lot, air will turn into moisture and it will condense on the inside of the boat. As you can imagine, water on any unprotected steel is not a good thing. There is somewhat of a gap between the framing itself, all those beams, deck beams, etc., right throughout the boat, between those and the hull plating. Wherever there's gaps, water can collect. Where the steelwork is not fully protected, rust can set up, and that is a big consideration. And of course, the other significant consideration is temperature control. And of course, insulation helps moderate the temperature inside from the extremes of cold and heat. The really good thing with spray-on insulation is that you're actually getting a complete sealing from the insulation itself right up to all edges that it's going to. This is unlike a lot of other styles of insulation where you have to cut pieces of the insulation material used and try and fit it into the spaces. Of course, you can't possibly get a tight seal between all of the edges where you put those cut up pieces. So this is another main reason why I wanted spray-on insulation. It closes up all those gaps between the steel framing and beams and the plating, and by having a seal between the edge of the insulation and whatever steel it's coming up against, obviously that's going to completely displace any condensation moisture and also provide a good seal for the insulation to do its job of controlling the temperature and climate on the inside. So just a commentary on the spray foam insulation. It doesn't take long to get the hang of. It's not very difficult really, just a case of understanding the flow, how it comes out, and how to actually keep moving and where you can afford to not move so fast. So yeah, it doesn't take long, and I am happy with the with what I'm getting. You know, it's going to provide me exactly what I'm after, which is to displace moisture on the steel with temperature differences between in and outside, and also, of course, provide insulation. One negative, though, really, which goes back to years ago, pretty much a decade ago, when I was talking to people about getting spray foam insulation. Basically, all the people I spoke to, and these are yachties who had used the product for exactly what I'm looking at using it for, all of these yachties had said whatever they tell you or espouse in the advertising as far as coverage, double it, which I must admit I kind of thought, well, that's a pretty big overstatement. I mean, doubling it is fairly significant. So that absolutely has been my experience. So I'm pretty much making this comment for those who might watch this video in the future, that it's a great product. It is tricky to get the hang of initially when you literally first start, but you learn it quick. It's not that hard. Classic example of something needs to be done and it's not happening easy or easily, and my mind just gets focused on what do I need to do to fix it, what do I need to do to get it sorted, and I just hop in and I get it until I've cracked it. And then I think about filming. So, yeah, I've said this before, but I've got to try and remember to do a little bit more filming of things. Well, when I say I have to, it's because I want to. So the story of this is the stuffing box, which is the seal for the prop shaft, so that water doesn't come in past the prop shaft. It's my wheelbarrow mechanics engineering principle that I am doing pretty much everything on the boat. I want to be able to get the shaft out, and taking this stuffing box off is going to help me to do that. So it's now nearly off, thank the gods. I'll show you what's going on. Yeah, so I thought I'd better explain also why the engine's suspended up in the air and not in the engine bay where it kind of should be. So I had to take off the stuffing box. Well, when I say I had to take that stuffing box off, I had to take that off because the prop shaft was jammed in the prop log. So basically, in order to free the shaft up and find out why it was stuck, and I kind of thought that I knew anyway, which was likely due to insect, mainly wasp infestation, taking mud and all sorts into the log and jamming it up. Thank you very much. So in order to get the shaft out and be able to get access to it all, and by that having to take the stuffing box off, it was just a lot easier to get the motor out. And there were two reasons. The second reason was, which I had planned to do, is to take the motor out so that I could actually paint, give like a nice final fresh paint coat to the engine bay. It is okay, like I could have got away with it. Please join me in the next video for part 2 of getting all of that engine bay sanded and repainted, and also I get the engine all connected up. Thanks for watching, see you then.